another, head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken. The violence causes silence, who are we mistaken? What's up, Planeswalkers? 36 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Apparently we're still doing the music thing because people liked it for some fucking reason. I don't think I can sing, but some people keep telling me to sing more. They keep calling me daddy and it's freaking me out. Anyway, I of course would like to have you go over to flipsidegaming.com, use that promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal. It helps support the show, and it keeps me from going insane. But all these motherfucking people call me daddy. Anyway, today, as you probably can guess via the fact that I just sang Zombies, I was singing the Bad Wolves version. The original version's good. I really like the Bad Wolves version because it's a little bit more rocky. This is the Jundead. Essentially, as I said before, I was really interested in seeing if I can meld together the more aggressive black-red with the more long-term black-green. I don't know if I achieved that goal. I think it's kind of been absorbed a lot by the black-green. But I mean, you can kind of see like what's going on, right? Like black-red, relatively early stuff. Black-green, kind of late stuff. So, That said, we still have those really explosive starts with Butcher and Angrath being helpful. We did cut down to 1 because I was at 6 cards that I really needed to cut. And people on the Discord suggested a few cuts. I decided to cut 1 Dreadhorde Butcher, 1 Bedevil. I was at 3. 1 Storrev, 1 Angrath. Oh, and I also cut all of the Grim Initiates. I'm still not super sure about how these cuts panned out. But this is kind of what I have right now. I do think that the Jund version is worth looking at because the power of Dreadhorde Butcher, as well as the ability to kind of loot Molderhulks in the late game, seems really damn good. Also, you just have Find. Well, you always had Find, but you had the Finality version of Find. Whatever. So, yeah, let's hop into the actual cards. 4-Stitcher Supplier. In the end, I decided to keep the Suppliers instead of the Grim Initiates. It does make the deck technically less aggressive in that you're not going to have that kind of board wipe resistance with the Grim Initiate. But we do want to still fuel our graveyard for a few things, namely Liliana, Storrev, and Molderhulk. Well, Find as well. So I decided Stitcher Supplier is the one drop we're going to go with. I initially did have 3 and 3 split of Supplier and Initiate. It's possible that maybe I could run 5 where I run 3 Supplier and 2 Initiate, try and work numbers in somewhere, but for right now we're just doing 4 of these. 3 Lazotep Reavers. There isn't nearly as much amass as in the other decks. However, the other 2 drops, which I'll talk about in the later on section, didn't fuel what I wanted to do in this deck. And Lazotep Reaver is really nice because it works with the graveyard in a different way that you might not realize, right? I didn't want Graveyard Marshal because that takes away from my graveyard, and I don't want that. I didn't choose Eternal Taskmaster because it is a single card that requires a lot of mana, and what I wanted to do for my early game plays is have something that allows me to attack in, right? Being able to have those 2 different bodies, functionally the same exact stat total as Eternal Taskmaster, but having them split means that, 1, they benefit from things like Devkarin more, and it means that if the Reaver dies, I actually get something, bring it back with something like Find, as opposed to the Eternal Taskmaster, which, yes, does bring other things back, but I have no innate benefit. Also, this blocks 2 things, very important against those red decks. red decks. 4 Dreadhorde Butcher. This is the reason I want to play red. This card's real good. That's it. 2 Dreadhorde Invasions. I was really waffling between cutting one of the Reavers and one of the Invasions. At the end of the day, I chose to cut down on the Invasion. That's possibly wrong, but I figured that the Invasion is technically more of a long-term thing than the Reavers are, so I wanted to have that early game to have a little bit of that aggression, so that's why I did what I did. 3 Midnight Reapers. We don't have, as I said, a ton of the amass, so we will get a decent amount of value from this, and we do want to be drawing cards in a deck like this because we have a lot of creatures, not a ton of removal, and we need to make sure we don't run out of gas, or else we die. 4 Deathbaron. It's a Zombie Lord, gives death buff, real great. 2 Bedevils, kills things. 2 Vraska Content, exiles things, much better. 1 Angrath. I really wanted to have 2 Angraths, and it's possible I can find a place in there somewhere, but I don't know how. It's possible that you don't even need Midnight Reaper in a deck like this since you have the high end, right? So it's possible. That, you know, maybe you cut Midnight Reaper down to 1, put Bedevil up to 3, put Angrath up to 2, you know, have something like that. But not entirely sure. One Storrev. I think Storrev is only needed as a 1-up, I think. She's pretty strong when you can get her rolling. But otherwise, she's not as good, in my opinion, as our other 4-drops. Speaking of, Liliana. Amazing card. Put stuff in your graveyard, which is helpful for our Graveyard Matter cards. Takes things from the graveyard, and X's removal. Real good. Underrealm Lich. I fucking love this card. You get to choose the card you draw. It can regenerate itself. And it can beat in. And it puts cards in graveyard. Who cares about that? 2 Lilianas, Dreadhorde General. It's great. It's Liliana. I don't think I have to talk about this. Molderhulk. It's fantastic. It loops with Memorial to Folly. We do only have 1 Memorial Hall in the deck. And the reason for that essentially is I have too many tap lands. And I didn't want to get put in a situation like the last game that I played, which I'll talk about, where my start was just way too slow. So I decided to only have 1 Memorial. But still, 1 works with Molderhulk, and even if you don't have the loop, you still have Molderhulk. Molderhulk's just a good card. Then, of course, Finality. Finality can work in a pinch as a board wipe, but also, fine, just get your value back. We're running, what, 24 creatures? 23 creatures, 1 off. Who cares? It's a decent creature count. Words are hard. This is our mana base. As you can see, we're not running any dual lands that don't have black in them. We're even running 2 Rakdos Guildgates because we do want that red early on. So we're going to need those a bit more than the green because we can take more time to get to the green. And we don't have anything... Well, we have nothing double red, double green, so... but we do have 1 mountain and 1 forest. Now, technically, these should probably be other tap lands. But I don't want to play more tap lands. Because, as I said, they just make the start really slow. Obviously, it's going to matter. You know, we do have a decent amount of double or triple pip mana cost here. But for the most part, I feel like having, like, Swamp, Mountain, I can still cast something. Swamp, Mountain, Forest, I can still cast some things, right? So that's why I made this decision. And then, of course, 3 Swamps. I hope this doesn't bone me too hard, but we don't talk about bones here. We talk about flesh, because zombies. Anyway. I unfortunately, once again, only got to play a few practice games. Darth Cheekus. That's funny. I hope I didn't say a slur in a different language. This hand is fine. This hand's fine. We're running 24 lands. Oh no. No. Why? Why do I have to deal with this deck? Could you just be like a wizard's deck or something? Oh, fuck you. Why? I'm playing in unranked. Why do you have to be mean to me? I mean, I'm not playing anything on 3, so I really don't... My opponent didn't have a land. Okay, maybe we can capitalize on this. I doubt it, because we don't have a lot of removal. Maybe this deck just needs to be trimmed, like, a lot. Have a sufficient amount of removal. But what do you cut down on? Also, fuck. Can I draw a piece of removal? That'd be fantastic. I assume my opponent's going to have a land at this point. There it is. Not removal, but Strunk. So I guess we're just on the race plan? Guess so. Next turn we can play Angrath, probably going to get Spell Pierced. What the fuck counter... I was about to say, what counter spell do you have for that? Angrath might get counterspelled. If they hold up 2 blue, I think I'm not going to cast Storrev. Because then it could be Essence Capture. If they hold up 1 blue, but not 2 blue, then I'm not going to play Angrath. Yeah. Because then it could be Spell Pierce. We're in a bad way. We're in a bad posit Ion. Oh right. So I only got to play 2 practice games today because once again I tried to make the Atrada deck work. Made a few changes. It still doesn't work. The main problem is wait a minute. Okay. Oh yeah, they're. You discard that. They have counterspell. They have a counterspell. But I think what I'm going to do first is attack. See if they want to play Merfolk Trickster. Fool. Yeah. They got a free kill on my Butcher. Like, I'm not able to ping that as well. But I can play a Storrev. Actually, fuck that. Their shields are down? Get this shit out of my face. I absolutely could have thrown that. Yeah, freaking, there's so much exile. There's a lot of bounce right now. There's a ton of control, right? And not a lot of, like, mid-range decks. So it's really hard for an Atronic deck to actually freaking work. I'm still trying, you know, like, trying to make it work and things, but, 3 of their Curious Obsessions. Go fuck yourself. There's no way they don't have a counterspell. I guess if I attack first and they play another Trickster, then I can at least cast Storrev. So sure, let's go with that. No, I just take the Dabblage. So I don't really want Underrealm Lich to get countered. I don't want any of these to get countered. But I guess I force them to use their more expensive. Like if I Angrath here, like it just gets countered, but I can Angrath next turn, and I'd have mana for a Spell Pierce. So I think I do just go Storrev. She'll get Essence captured. Just Wizard's thing on the jig. Essence capture, okay. Yeah, unfortunate. Mono blue deck, you know, when they have the stuff, they have the stuff. Did they go first? I don't remember. But if they did, that also hurts. They had 3 of their Curious Obsessions. I mean, they kept the one-lander, so it must have been a damn good one-lander. Damn. I wanted to try. I wish I could cast both, but I can't. I could play Lich. I'll probably get countered to hell. But I could do that post-combat, see if they want to do anything first. I can play Angrath. Probably going to get countered to hell. I guess the Menace doesn't actually matter, so, like, other than... I would want to get one of these on the field, because they're more impactful. So that's why it doesn't really matter if I attack first. I mean, they have a counterspell, so which one do I care more about? I guess I care more about Angrath, because I can weave it in with Devkarin if I draw land. This deck is miserable to play against. I would rather be playing against Esper Control right now. I mean, that's what makes tempo decks good, right? Like, they play a threat early on, and then they just protect it. But yeah, I mean, I'm fucked at this point. Like, they've drawn so many cards because of their Curious Obsessions. Yeah, so they play Temptation, I have to have removal, and they have to not have any protection. And I don't have it. I'll cast a Lazotep Reaver. See if my opponent wants to counter that or something. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. My opponent doesn't have to do anything here. Yeah, no matter what I cast, I'm dead. Let's see, they had the Spell Pierce the entire time. Of course they did. I hate that deck. You know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna play in ranked. Like, if I'm gonna have to face real decks anyway, I just fucking might as well play in ranked. And that's stupid. Nope. It didn't actually change the deck. Because apparently the select button is too not sensitive. My first game was against Bant Ramp, and I crushed them because they were too damn slow. I had a nice explosive-ish start. You know, turn 1 Supplier, turn 2 Butcher. Turn 3, I don't think I played anything important. So I can do turn 1, turn 2. This is a fine hand. They're going, yeah. I'm going second, which is not great. You know, you don't really want to see a 4-lander in a deck like this, but since we do have a Liliana in hand, this makes it less terrible. So yeah, we'll keep this. Depending on what they play, we may or may not shock on turn 1. If they play like a Azorius card, for example, shock this in. That counts. Oh, baby, a triple. Yeah, so we're gonna try and murder my opponent. The unfortunate bit is they always have turn 2 Thoughtseize. Not terrible downs. It's Sultai. Fuck. Can't get value out of Dreadhorde Butcher. God damn it. I hate it's so bad. The mulligan's relatively low. I could just play a Lazotep Reaver. I could play the Butcher, but playing the Butcher doesn't really do much. I guess if I play the Butcher and they don't have a Jadelight Ranger, even though they always have a Jadelight Ranger, then I would theoretically be able to double block kill this. Then what am I left with? Pretty much nothing. I think it's better to go for that, though. Yeah, I think it's better to go for that. Second game was against a Sultai midrange. Fun fact, it was actually a Sultai command deck. I had 3 tap lands in a row. So that didn't work out, obviously. It's a Jadelight Ranger. Against mid-range decks that have... Against Wild Growth Walker decks, this deck struggles, frankly. Oh, fuck. I think it's another Commander Dreadhorde deck. That's nice to see, but it does nothing. I could attack with Dreadhorde Butcher. Just kill his Branch Walker. Sure. Yeah, there's no way it doesn't block. So I can Angrath. If I get another land, I'll be able to Liliana. So if I keep his board relatively clear, then I should have an okay time sweeping things up. Notably, he can't play Jadelight Ranger. Huh, okay. This is good. Angrath. Okay. Cool, cool. So yeah, because of their mana base, they're not going to be able to play their creature. So my gentleman, I think I would like to keep these 2 back to be able to block this. If he plays the Jadelight, this is going to go up to 6 toughness? Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to kill it even if I kept all of them back. So I do have to fade the draw to make staying back worth it. But I think that's fine. I'd like to get something to do on 5. I mean, a find would be great. Removal spell would be great. 4-mana Liliana would be great. Nice. That's everything I wanted.
The only prize I desire is your head.
Might jump with that, I'm not sure. I essentially want to see if he actually plays the Ranger. Cool. In response, goodbye. So his mana base screwed him. I feel like you can't keep that on top. Okay.
If I were you, I'd just surrender right now.
She did. Liliana, the prophecy. Oh, well, another one of the reasons that I'm not, I didn't do as much practice is because a Johnny is Neko, sure, but he's not Noir. Fuck off. No. I mean, I can't keep this, right? Like, I have 3 cards. Yeah, I can't keep that. Sure, this is less bad. No. Maybe I shouldn't have kept that either. Ah, fudge. Watery Grave. As well play this. Esper, yep. Thought Erasure, yep. You see, I have nothing I can play. I assume they take the Reaper for that exact reason. It's like, it's going to take me a while to get to the others anyway. Yeah, honestly, I think they should go for tempo, not power here. Could be wrong. Yeah. Do I draw lands? Hell yeah. Cool, cool. I plan on recording right after this, some spoiler talk for M20, which feels like way too soon. Okay, this is dangerous. Did I learn my lesson from yesterday? No. The hero deck. The thing is, if they don't have removal, I'll be fine. Can't wait for Teferi bounce, then I just lose. I need another land, though. Jiboswan do shit. Bounce this, I take 2, and lose the game.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I'm seeing, like, the same decks everywhere, man. We're back in that spot of Standard where it's just garbage. Wow. Fuck off. Maybe I should have killed that.
Hardly my worst defeat.
Don't know. So this will go up to 2. I can't even top deck an Angrath. Fuck off.
I know my response in time is much more now than people think.
Live with edits. I don't need more than one of this card. I want an additional Angrath. I also think I want an additional... Yeah, you know what? I don't think Midnight Reaper is necessarily great in this deck. Let's go off of Bedevil. And let's go with this. I like this a little bit better. Gotta be willing to make changes on the fly. I feel like M20 just came super fast. Because, like, I'm not even done processing Modern Horizons yet. Sure. Defender? Probably defenders. See if we can dump anything nice in there for find. We dumped exactly nothing in there for find. That said, kind of fine that we got rid of that. Is it not? Color me actually confused. Okay, they're only Simic for right now. Is it the Simic Ramp deck? Do they play Grazer? Do they play Grizorpozorp? I don't know. Bronodon? Sure. What deck plays Bronodon? Why am I drawing so many lands? That's the real question. I mean, I want to attack with Supplier. Block! Kill my Supplier! No, you coward. Man, it's fine. Next turn, I can Angrath. Oh, I lost last game because I didn't draw lands. Nissa. Oh, yep, it's just a Simic deck. Cool, cool.
I will aid you. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Damn. Getting up to a finality would be pretty helpful, theoretically. The issue is this deck runs, what's his name? Hydrocrisis. It's 2 turns away.
Never seen. Come on.
goes up to 7. Play my 5th. She goes up to 8. I play my 6th.
The land shall conquer you.
Just waiting for a giant Hydro Crisis. Why are you playing that many islands in a Nissa deck? Seems strange to me. Yeah, this is a Hydro Crisis. Yep. Man, it's so sad that I can predict that people can predict the decks that they're playing against, like, after the first play. Is that really worth it? Crisis is going to be an issue. I want to dump. Do I want to dump stuff in my yard? No. Alright, well, I need to not die. I'm at 2.
If you want it, fight for it.
So pretty unlikely that I'm going to not die. See if I can make it to the next turn. The issue is, even though I blow up their lands, they can still, like, Ultimate Nissa. They could play another Hydro Crisis here. Their Hydro Crisis now would still be around, so... Yeah, I mean, this is just a loss, through and through. I guess not necessarily. No, it is, like... Yeah. Because I can put the counters on this, and then this, it would get a little bit bigger, and I could kill, like, I could literally kill Nissa. Oh, no, I couldn't, because, I would get -4. Oh, fuck. It's not really a reason to attack in first. That's disappointing. Wow, okay. I had nothing then. I wonder... So, Black-Red Zombies I played relatively recently, and that did fine. I'm wondering if Black-Green Zombies is no longer doable because the meta has been solved, right? The decks are essentially mono-red, white X, like mono-white X, mono-blue tempo as, like, the aggro decks. You got Gruul mid-range. You got freaking Explore. I'm not going to call it anything else. It's just Explore. You have Esper Hero, which I guess is technically a mid-range deck. Esper Control. Jeskai Walkers. And the Simic Ramp deck. I feel like there's just no room for... Literally every time. I feel like there's just no room for traditional mid-range, which sucks. Like, if I want to play a mid-range style deck, I have to play Ramp, which is not mid-range, Hero, which, in my opinion, is not mid-range, or the Gruul mid-range deck. Or Explore, right? I don't want to. I'm going to play the Folly, I guess. Play Liliana next turn. Why am I also drawing so many damn cards? Why not do that first? Alright, they took more damage than they needed to, but whatever. Cast Liliana next turn, unless they Thought Erase me here. You know, play land, play hero, Thought Eraser. Okay, cool. So just hero. That's fine. I actually like Angrath here better, because it protects my Liliana. So next turn I can do this in Liliana. Then I can play my other Liliana, so maybe I can win this game because of my Planeswalkers, but I don't trust it. Contempt on my Angrath. I will block your hero. All right. So let's first see if Liliana resolves. Cool, cool.
The etchings prove my immortality.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
One person's trash is another woman's.
That was a trash thing there. I don't think I want to minus Angrath. Because I have a feel... Well... Could kill this and they still have to attack Angrath. Whereas if I minus it... Yeah, so they'd attack Angrath once and I wouldn't be able to use it. But they'd have to do it again if they wanted to get rid of my stuff. So yeah, I think I honestly just pass the turn. Because my opponent could theoretically just remove the 4/4 token. Teferi, who you bouncing? I assume you're bouncing someone. Nope.
Hold that thought.
That's totally fine. You know what this deck likes to run? Here's the veto. Here's the Danny DeVito. Oh my god, it resolved.
Let us march into battle and make new comrades.
So I can attack the Teferi. He's forced to double block. I could Angrath first to really... You know what? I'm just going to attack first. Because if he double blocks, then I can kill a hero. If he doesn't, I'm less worried about Teferi. Cool.
Don't make another move.
So now we're going to do this. And then I can do that.
Never heard
I get to
anyone
draw, which is
who a
nice.
lousy servant anyway.
I'll go ahead and do this.
Come on.
And I'll go ahead and plus. Let's get some zombies in the yard, please.
Wait till you see what I've got planned for you.
That's a zombie in the yard. Fuck off.
Ram a new course free. I don't do this lightly.
Can you feel how much I love Magic right now? Yeah, sure, dude. I don't care.
This is hardly my worst feat.
With their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns in your... Fuck off, dude.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
I didn't expect the hero deck to mainboard the Elder Spell. I hate the standard meta right now. I hate it. It's not fun. I can't play any interesting things, right? Fucking Etrata can't play. Fucking I doubt I'll ever be able to play these combo decks. There are other combo decks that I wanted to play, just can't. Birthing Pod, I doubt is going to actually be usable no matter what I try. Honestly, like the only decks that have been good for me are just straight Rakdos Zombies, because it's just an aggro deck, and Bolus's Rage. That's like all I can actually play. Because this meta is fucking garbage. And another time, maybe Jund would be fun. But for now, I think it's best to just stick to black-green or black-red. Sultai Zombies might be better because it's inherently a slower deck. I doubt Grixis Zombies would be amazing. It's fine because it has like the entire Amash synergy. Jund might be interesting. Or not Jund, sorry. Abzan might be interesting. Black-red, or black-green-white. You can also do Mardu. Mardu might be interesting. Because you still have Judith. So you can have like a super aggro slant while having some of the other kind of aristocrats stylings. Probably going to take them to the drawing board, see if I can think of anything. But the cards that are in the sideboard here, either I didn't play them or they would be sideboard cards. Duress. 4 of in the sideboard because of the shit that we just saw. Eternal Taskmaster, I kind of described. Can't describe that. Moment of Craving, helpful against the aggressive decks. However, I feel like you can kind of hold your own against the aggressive decks. And those are, from what I've seen, few and far between. It is legitimately the mid-range decks, which are not mid-range, they feed on mid-range, and control. Those cards like garbage. I'm gonna say something potentially controversial. I miss when Standard was dominated by mono red. Didn't think I'd ever say that. Anyway, Elder Spell. I don't know, 3 of them things? Planeswalkers, they're everywhere. Assassin's Trophy. Maybe this is just a better removal spell, because it gets rid of everything, even though it gives them lands. Who knows? Glowsborough Shaman didn't make the cut, because we weren't focused entirely on our graveyard. Ob's Cruelty. Decent removal. Doesn't hit walkers, which is important in this meta for some reason. Herald of Dreadhorde. Not as good as our other 4s. Josu. Not as good as our other 4s. Death Sprout. I really want to play this card, but it's not good. Bantu. As well as her brother. I had other things I wanted to play. Gruesome Menagerie. Not terrible in this deck. Too slow. Giant. Too slow. Why must this Standard tease me so? There are so many interesting cards that are in Standard right now. And so few of them feel truly playable. Obviously, you can throw together a jank deck. You can play it in unranked. But one, you're going to be facing a lot of actual meta decks in unranked. Which means that, let's be generous and say only 33% of your time in unranked is going to be awful. You're playing jank against real decks. 2, you can never really like hope to graduate into ranked, because no matter what you do, the top decks are the top decks for a reason, and whatever brew you try and come up with, unless it's a fucking spicy brew, you're relegated to not ever being able to feel accomplishments with that deck. And it sucks because, as I said, there are so many cool freaking cards in the Standard format, and just like nothing we are actually able to do with them. On that depressing note, I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander, Croft, Zin, and Rexel, for their continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel, you can find links to that down in the description below. Shut up, bathroom, as well as links to the Aether Hub thing in the description. Keep my deck lists, I guess. Discord, chat, play games. Fucking just. M20 can't come fast enough. I know I was complaining about the spoiler season feeling too close, but I just want something to shake up this meta. It's not a boring meta, it's a frustrating meta. Right? I'm not terribly upset necessarily about the Gruul mid-range deck. Even most of the aggro decks, right? Mono red and the white X decks, fine. I just have a personal vendetta against mono blue. It actually isn't really oppressive, it's just fucking annoying to play against. But if you look at like a lot of the control decks, and I'm obviously guilty of this too, I'm playing Narset, the cards that are in Standard right now are annoying not because they're strong, but because they're strong and they fundamentally change how you're able to play. And I don't mean that in the way like, oh, you know, I'm taking a card out of your hand with a discard spell, I'm countering a card, you know, it's fundamentally changing how you have to even build your deck, because they're so widespread and they're so oppressive in what they do, right? You can't remove a Teferi with an instant speed kill spell like Vraska's Contempt or Bedevil, because as soon as it's down, its static effect is there, and you cannot cast instants anymore. You have to deal with it on a stack, which draws people to certain colors, and those colors happen to be other colors, or essentially other decks that play that Teferi, which just leads to even more of those cards being played. Then you have Narset, which is just like, oh yeah, by the way, you just can't draw cards. And obviously that is nice when it's against other control players, because it's like, hey, you know, we're hating on each other over here. But when you have incidental card draw in other decks, it's just like, oh, cool, yeah, I just can't get extra value out of the cards that I needed, so I can actually win a control matchup. And then you have the ramp decks, which I'm relatively certain. I'm pretty certain they just like lose against control, because control just doesn't have to care about a lot of their stuff and just counters the small things. But it just beats on other mid-range decks, so it's like you can't play any cool spicy things. So yeah, it's just a frustrating meta, and that is the sentiment that I know has been echoed throughout a lot of the people I talk to. Merchant for sure. I'm fairly certain. Alias feels the same way. Most of the people in my Discord feel the same way. It's just not fun. There's so many cool cards, and I just want to play them. I just want to play with the cool cards and have a good time. And obviously, I could literally just say, "Hey, I need to record today. I want you, member of my community, to play this deck. I want you, member of my community, to play this deck. I want you to play this deck. I want you to give it your all. And I'm just going to record those decks, right? They're not going to be completely garbage decks. Obviously, I still want to see how they do against real decks. But when it's just the same nonsense every single time I record, it's annoying. It gets to you. Well, this has been an edition of Theoric 6 rants to no one, because no one fucking stays to this part. But yeah, I'd like to. There's no way this video is enjoyable. If you liked my singing at the beginning, go ahead and tap that like button. Add a subscription to the mana pool. Cast your comments in the comment section down below. Pass the turn of the video to some of your friends. Until next time, I'll be 1, which is what I rate this metagame right now. Fucking 1 out of 10. I'm gonna review some new cards and talk about those. So fucking have fun with that, I guess. Fucking hell. Yeah.